Going on, family? How y'all doing? What's up? What's up? What's going on? What's up, y'all? Man, we about to get to it in 1 minute. What's going on? Hey, family, what's up? What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's up? What's up? What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Let's get a couple more people in here. BD Bay, peace. Peace, King. Peace, more. How y'all doing, family? What's up? What's up? California, what's up, y'all? Y'all, we about to be talking about some real facts today. We about to be talking about a lot today. Okay, now look. Let's get to it. All right, now look. So this whole past week has been crazy, right? But I had to realize something, right? And I want to explain this to you guys, right? So, we got the side where, you sovereign, you outside of their jurisdiction, you operating in the private, and everything like that, right? Now, this is the flip side. I made a video on this before, but I'm going to explain it a little bit more today. Everybody cannot be sovereign. And the reason why I say that is, right? So for a lot of you guys who into credit, who into understanding the strong man and understanding how this whole corporate America work, if everybody was to wake up and get out of minimum contacts, there will be no more surety for the United States, the District of Columbia. Therefore, the banking institution won't have enough leverage to extend credit, because you got to understand that credit is really dependent on the blind faith of the people in order to, to establish some sort of value. Because as long as someone have a pledger that's willing to pay a debt, you always have money. So if I came to you and say, hey, I want to buy a car, I can't pay for it, but I can make payments on a car, you will always make money, right? So you can extend fictitious money just to utilize the person's labor and give, fake debt notes in exchange for something, right? So I tell a lot of people, my goal is not to wake up everybody. My goal is not to go across the United States and say, fight for your rights and everything like that, right? Because understand this, all laws are commerce, right? So we're dealing with traffic laws and everything like that. It's the same people who pay traffic tickets, taxpayer dollars and everything like that. That goes towards the roads and everything like that. And I know it might sound, what the heck? But in actuality, it's the same commercial system that's also keeping the elite in their position and the whole world doing them. Most people is not going to catch on to this. This information is only for a certain group of people, because most people will not just gravitate and understand the whole matrix at hand. So some people will just say, hey, that's not for me, or whatever the case might be. I don't push that on anybody. I don't push sovereignty on anybody. I don't make anybody follow my beliefs or anything like that. I tell a lot of people, if you like those who want to wake up and want to learn, yes, tap into this information. But those who don't, you can just stand back. And don't get me wrong, we got a lot of detractive, y'all, a lot of trolls and everything like that, that'll say, oh, I had a video up, right? This was on Facebook, right? So the video was up. A lot of trolls is on there, right? It was like, how was he able to drive off? No license, no registration, no insurance. And our tax-paying dollars, I have to pay all of my money to fix the roads, and I have to get licenses and everything like that. Because you a slave. That's why you got to pay rules of the road, and you got to pay all these municipal fees, and you got to pay for licenses and registration. Of course, because you agreed to commerce. Because people mix up law and legal all the time. They think what's legal is law, and they think what is law is legal, and that's not true at all. Because understand this, when you search up certain things, like far as the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, is a private corporation. Every police station is a private corporation. Because remember, every police station broke up into different townships. So say if like you in, let's say Florida, you got Orlando Police, that's a private corporation. You got Kissimmee Police, that's a private corporation. You got the City of Orlando, that's a private corporation. So private corporations is working for the state, and the state is also a corporation that's been established that's the private corporation as well. And we constantly subjecting ourselves to their laws and their jurisdiction, and we always found ourselves into that. Now, those who understand, we can get ourselves outside of their jurisdiction and we don't have to partake in a whole monopoly. That's why it's good to wake up. Car and house permit, it works. Oh, thank you. Thank you, family. Hit me up, 224-463-1848. 2B SOC, worldwide, thank you. Hit me up. I'm ready to do this. I just don't know where to start. The main thing you want to understand is jurisdiction. So let me explain just a little bit about jurisdiction. In order to even establish jurisdiction, like I always say, you got to have minimum contacts. Minimum contacts was just never explained to us. So most gurus you will hear, they'll just say minimum contacts and that's it. So it's the driver's license, the registration, the insurance, the state ID, and the voter's registration. Those will be evidence of minimum contacts. So most insurance companies that you have, it's insurance company directly with the state. So if you get State Farm be in Illinois, therefore that insurance company is licensed in Illinois, therefore that's a minimum contact in the state of Illinois. If you get Geico or anything like that in that specific state, that's jurisdiction, that's also minimum contacts. Your driver's license is residency, so it's evidence that you live or reside within the state, that's minimum contacts. Having a state ID, the same thing. It's evidence of residency and that you live in the state, that's minimum contacts. Your voter's registration, where you reside at is where you vote at. So that's how people get called in to be a juror, right? So when jury trial come and everything like that, if any of you guys ever got a letter in the mail say, hey, you got to come to trial because you're about to be a jury, that's because you registered to vote. So therefore, that's minimum contacts as well. Now, I know it sounds crazy because if I'm a national and I need to go to a jury of my peers, you're not going to see a person there say I'm a non-citizen national. It's going to say, hey, we residents of this county. And that's why you got to step completely out of their jurisdiction. So right now I'm in the process of building me a tiny home, and I'm actually finna build me a real home. So once all the money come in, because I actually talked to a supplier, right? So I'm gonna give y'all some free game. I got a supply on Alibaba. Now, you can value your own tiny home. And I don't know if you guys seen it. I'm not talking about the regular tiny home. I'm talking about a real nice tiny home, and it's travel, and you can travel with it. And you can buy also, what's those things called again? It's a trailer, but it's not the little homeless looking trailer. I'm talking about a real nice luxury trailer you can actually buy from China directly, and you can buy a real nice, beautiful trailer like with everything. But we buying a tiny home, a very beautiful tiny home to attach to the truck that you can actually move around state to state, just so we can be in a private, because that's our last step before we're 100% sovereign, because RAM jurisdiction does exist, and you don't want to be sovereign when you on the street, but at your household, you're not sovereign. So that's why you want to make sure that you completely cut ties with the state. So you don't want to rent nowhere, you don't want to live nowhere, anything like that. If you don't have a corporate office that you renting, then don't worry about that. Like only time I'll be renting if I have a corporate lease, where only the company name coming on the lease and my name is not going to be on there at all, right? And so you want to have it like that because you want to separate yourself fully from their jurisdiction. And my family's taking it that far. We're not half doing it. We got to do it all the way. If you get a mortgage loan, I'm still going to show y'all how to not register your home. You don't even got to register your home if you get a mortgage. It's the same thing with a car. So if your home was registered, you got the right to go up there and unregister your home. And this another thing. When you first get a mortgage, y'all, you do the closing and everything like that with the owner of the home or the builder. And after you go ahead and do the closing, that's when you take all of your documentation, such as the lot, you take the property information and everything like that in the description of the property, and they have you take that to the Office of Title of Deeds. Once you take it to the office, they're gonna charge you a county tax, state tax, and everything like that. That's when you register your home. Do not go up there and register your home when you first get a mortgage. That's another thing that I'm looking at, because I still can get a mortgage. I still got the right to privately contract with Chase, Bank of America, because those are not government institutions. Those are private corporations. But what subject your home was when you took your house, when you took the property information down to the title of deeds and you register your home with the county. So when you found out how the judge can issue search warrant, seizures, and everything like that, That's because you register your home. Now they can put any probable cause they want. Oh, well, it's too many trucks pulling up at a certain period of time. How's that probable cause to make to search your home? Or they'll say, we seen people, weird people coming in. That's not enough probable cause, and that's why it's very important to understand that, and by understanding what and by understanding that you don't have to register your home. That gives me a lot of relief to say, dang, I don't gotta register my home. No, because you don't gotta register your car. You can buy a brand new car in the dealership, they might register it, and you can go straight to the dealership the very next day after they register it to cancel the registration. All you have to say, I sold the vehicle, and that's it. Because that's how you really get our complete minimum contacts. So if the home not registered, the car not registered, you not registered, meaning, you know what I mean, like you got license and insurance, or you got what's another thing, ID or something like that. That's when you know what's going on your end. But for the most part, you don't got to worry about that. Just make sure y'all step completely out of minimum contacts. Make sure y'all operating in the private. Make sure y'all got everything straight, and y'all ain't got to worry about it. You don't got to register your home. So soon you get a mortgage, you can sign a mortgage agreement. That's when I will put a UCC UCC 1-308. That's when you would do it. You don't put UCC 1-308 when the police give you a citation or try to give you a bond. That's when you do it, because we dealing commercially. When you're dealing with, like, you know, banks and stuff like that, okay, we got a different battle. Because this is what a lot of people mix up. They trying to put remedies and processes from commercial transactions versus criminal proceedings. So a person would say use the same thing that you would use in a commercial aspect, and that's not true. So if you got a bank loan, I deal with that on a separate occasion. I can put UCC 1-308 to take away all liability and argue that if they ever took me to court to sue for that debt. But if I ever was in a criminal proceeding, I would make sure that I'm outside of minimum contacts, so the state doesn't have a burden of proof that they can prosecute the matter. So they can't prosecute the case if they don't reach minimum contacts. That's giving me the right of due process, right? So you separate those two, and you will understand that it's two different things. So when you're dealing with the banks and loans, that's different from when I deal with the court side things. You know, it's two different things. But for the most part, you don't have to register your home at all. You don't have to. If you do, you can't unregister. And I'm going to bring that paperwork. I just been doing all of this and doing that. So, and I'm about to get I'm about to be furnishing data in a couple days, because I just got my office and everything like that. I got my office a week and a half ago, and so I'm be doing my data furnishing, and after that, you know, we going up from there. So I'm gonna let you guys know my website, and I'm be, you know, doing everything, you know, showing y'all how to how y'all can purchase revolving lines of credit, you know, trade lines and stuff like that. It's not gonna be trade lines. It's gonna be all primary accounts. So it's not gonna be trade line accounts. It's gonna be primaries. Yeah. Yeah, the Metro 2 software. They lost, and I was giving them the first thing. Yep. What about apartments? Apartments, that's evidence of residency. Truth be told, it's evidence of residency. That's evidence of residency. If you live in an apartment or anything like that, it's evidence of residency. There's ways to go around it, though. Don't get me wrong. That's not evidence that you really live there, in a sense, because it always can be challenged. Because even though your name is on the lease, you still got to prove that he lived there. So he either got to receive mail there, or he got to agree that he lived there. He could be renting that out for somebody. He can say, I never lived, I rented it out for someone, anything. But even if they use that address, it always can be challenged, because it takes a lot. Because remember, you got to put the utilities in your name. If you do that, red flag. You got to put all the bills in your company name, to get everything out. So you put everything in your name, then yeah, you live there. And if you reside there, you subjected to the jurisdiction. That's how due process work. It's just, like I said, you either in or out. You either in or out. Pick a side. You want to be free, or you want to be a slave? Because once you get this information, you're not ever going to want to go back. You're not going to ever want to be a regular person. Because it's like, you got to live sovereign. You got to know, it's everything you do. Everybody, whatever anybody else do, you can't do. And the reason why I do this, some people say this. Guess what? They say, man, why not just follow the rules? Why not just get a license? Make your life easy. That's not true. Because I know another side of this world that's not being talked about. And people say, oh man, he using a race car. No, this ain't about the race car. I can talk about any nationality of people, but I can tell you a flip side. Well, I know people who regular, hardworking people, even though they might did something like had weed in the car, anything like that, it's little things like that where they get their rights violated. They get taken out the car, their car get impounded and everything like that, due to the fact that officers always violate their Fourth Amendment right by claiming a false probable cause that they smell marijuana. Oldest trick in the book. That's the oldest trick in the book. We smell weed. Oh, we smell kush. We smell all this. So every time they use that, they violate your rights because they're going to search the vehicle and find whatever they want to find. So they claim they smell weed, but they're looking for a gun because they see your background. So say, for instance, I'm going to tell y'all something, right? And actually, I actually want to post about it, right? I'm finna make a video about it. So it's a brother. This is a brother in Orlando, right? So he got pulled over by the Orlando police. Now I'm gonna tell y'all how it is when you become a slave to them. So he was driving from work, allegedly, right? He had work clothes on. You know, if you work at like the factory or something, he had all his work clothes on. He had his ID badge and everything. He was driving his girl car. Police pulled him over. They said, oh yeah, man, it don't seem like she got insurance. So they showed him the insurance card, they updated it. Okay, fine. They asked him for a driver's license. He gave him his driver's license. That man had like 30 pieces of mail in the car, right? Like regular mail, like as if you go to the post office or something. So the police, running his running his ID and everything. So he was like, man, do I got to report to my probation officer? I just got to let her know that I got pulled over by police. They said, no, man, you okay? He said, no, I just got to, I got to report to her, anytime I get a stop or stopped by the police. He said, no. They said, just wait real quick. You ain't got nothing, it ain't going to be nothing, right? So 5 minutes go past. So they found out he was on probation. They like, all right, he on probation. Let's get him, right? So they do this. So imagine, they stopped the man for 5-10 minutes. They ain't said nothing. Hey, man, come here. Hey, you got some weed in the car? No, I got no weed in the car. Yeah, man, my buddy said he smells some weed. Bro, you just stopped this man for 10 minutes and now you smell weed. Yeah. So when they found out he was on probation, now they said they smell weed. Now they smell the weed. So they said, yeah, we need to search the car. He said, man, what the? He said, bro, like, ain't no weed. I don't got no weed in the car. He really didn't have no weed in the car. Because when the police searched, they ain't found no weed. So they searched the car and everything like that. Now he had cocaine or something in the car, right? Now cocaine don't smell like weed at all. But they just did that off the strength because they knew they had him. They got jurisdiction. So when you a slave, when you got a driver's license, they can make any bogus probable cause as possible. Just because you can look like a person, right, who just up to no good, right? You can just even look like a person the police is found probable cause. You ever heard that saying? It takes nothing to indict a ham sandwich. It takes nothing to violate a U.S. citizen rights. It takes nothing to violate their rights. Because even if you got a driver's license and they run that information, that's when they're going to go ahead and find a bogus probable cause. They're going to always find that. They're going to always find that. And it's like people fall for the okie doke and not understand it. So people ask me why I don't get a driver's license. That's the reason why right there. I know people who got clean records not clean records. People had everything together, like registration, they had license, they had insurance, they had everything, right? So the police ran their background and seen they had a gun. That they had a gun on their background. So now the police like, hey man, is there any weapons in the car? No, ain't no weapons in the car. Man, get out, I need you out the car right now. And they get out the car. So that person's whole rights got violated. But the idiots on YouTube worry about the gun. Hello, but he had a gun in the car. Listen, it's not about the gun. It's about the fact that his rights was violated in order to find a gun. Did you know back then, like, if what you would call what's that word I'm looking for, right? So admissible. So if a police illegally find if a police manufacture or illegally search and seize a property, that's considered admissible, right? So all that evidence be admissible. You know, when OJ felt that trial and he killed his wife allegedly, it's not the fact that he killed her, because I believe, of course, he killed her, right? Now, it wasn't that. The police manufactured certain evidence in the case. Anytime you manufacture evidence to support a case, that is automatic grounds to get a case dismissed. That's a violation of your rights. You feel me? So what police do a lot of times, they'll overstep and do bogus, probable cause situations. So they'll violate your Fourth Amendment right. And so you got the Pennsylvania versus Mims or whatever the case might be. But the sad thing about it is they basically saying that if a police find reasonable suspicion, they always claim reasonable suspicion that a crime being taken place, they can take you out your car. And so you guys want to keep going through this stuff. Y'all want to keep getting y'all property taken. Y'all want to keep letting them violate your rights. You want to keep letting them search your car anytime they want. Be my guest. But guess one law that they cannot alter or change, and it is due process. They must establish minimum contacts to gain to assert personal jurisdiction over a non-resident. And a non-resident is not because he lives in another state. A non-resident is not a resident of any of the states. You get what I'm saying? So even if you're from out of state and you give them a Florida driver's license and you in Illinois and you say, hey, I live in Florida and it's your address, they can establish personal jurisdiction over an out-of-state resident. Therefore, they can establish due process. They will go through the due process and establish and assert personal jurisdiction. So it's very dangerous to have the contracts with the state, because once you're in, they can make any bogus probable causes possible. I know people that got stopped by the police. Police said registration, here. License, here. Insurance, here. One moment. They got a dirty background. Oh, you need to drop the car. You need me out the car. I just gave you everything. Ain't no weed in it. We need you out the car. My officer said you keep shaking. You got two guns. You got two officers with all holding their guns at 3 a.m. They said, "Oh, you shaking too much." What the fuck? what type of court? Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's like people got to understand what's really going on, and that's why the police, in my case, couldn't establish RAM jurisdiction. I told him on the paper I got a gun in the car, but you can't search the car because I never gave him personal jurisdiction. So personal jurisdiction was never established when they stopped me. So of course he could have pulled me out and said, "Oh, yeah, we need to search the car." No. Before you can do anything, before we talk about the subject matter, you have to establish jurisdiction. That's why it's number one protocol. So when you first get stopped by the police don't say just get out. The police say give me a license. They say give me registration, give me insurance. Because once you do that, now we have the jurisdiction over you personally. Now we can get to the topic of subject matter. Because the subject matter is I smell weed. The subject matter is we found a gun and you a felon. The subject matter is there's cocaine inside of your seats. The subject matter is you walking around with bullets or whatever the case. That's the subject matter. But we cannot get to the subject matter until we establish the personal matter, which will be personal jurisdiction. You get what I'm saying? So they need to get that done. They need to get that handled first. So that's why the dude in Orlando I was explaining, they took his license, registration. They didn't go to the car and say, I smell marijuana, get out, because that's not due process, and also that's not normal protocol. That's illegal, unless the person did this. When you get pulled over, when you say, I'm not answering nothing, that's when they can take you out because they have reasonable suspicion, because it's not identifying yourself. So their protocols, you have to identify yourself. So by identifying yourself, I deal with the passport by giving them my identification, which will be my passport card. So they have to establish jurisdiction. So they got the passport card, it come back restricted, do not stop, do not detain, do not interrogate. The overseer, I always call them overseers, but they sergeants. What can we do about this? Okay, if you guys want to make the arrest, or if you guys want to search the vehicle, you got to get an address. They say, why we got to get an address? Because that's normal protocol. Without an address, we cannot assert personal jurisdiction in order to search the vehicle. So that's why he kept asking me, hey, sir, you got an address or something like that? Man, we're just trying to write these tickets and be on our way. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, sir, I live on 144 Ashwood. Boom! Tell out the car. Then everybody be laughing. It don't work like that. You got to understand how this whole gang work. Y'all got to understand how this whole thing work. So their goal was, hey, you got license, you got an address? Another person asked, hey, sir, you got an address? Hey, sir, you got an address? No. My address, you not, the same thing, right? So by them constantly want to establish jurisdiction, they constantly hassling me about this shit, right? So, excuse my language, but I'm not going to give them nothing. So at that point, the sergeant come, right? He, man, how my buddies treating you? They treat me well. You know, you guys did a fantastic job. He looking at his man so mad. He was like, damn, couldn't get you. You can get another slave. This is the thing. It is so many slaves in this world. Do not worry about me. Worry about the slaves. You see the guy in Orlando? No offense to the brother, but he had everything y'all needed to do whatever y'all want. Y'all did what y'all want. So you better off just attacking the slaves before you come after me. Just go after all your slaves with driver's licenses and who gonna give y'all contractual waivers, who gonna give you guys consent, and y'all can search the vehicle. They can take your guns, they can take weed or whatever. You know, marijuana come from a tree. So I don't smoke, but I'm just saying marijuana come from a tree. And there's people out there that's literally been in prison over 5 years fighting a marijuana case. Just because the police claim they smell it in the car. Nobody injured, nobody nothing. It's just, we smell marijuana, we want to get you out the vehicle. And people fall for it all the time. People always fall for it. People always fall for it. And it's sad. It's sad that most people ain't woke up and understand what's really going on. You know? So, for the most part, it's like, you got to just pick a side in this. What you want to do. You want to be with us or you want to be against us? Like, that's my whole goal is just giving y'all the game on what y'all can be doing in these streets when dealing with the police and everything like that. So, you know, it worked like that. And yeah, so the first thing, we have to establish jurisdiction. So they can, of course, they claim they smelt it, but they smelt it suddenly when everything been established. We know you got a license, we know you got registration, we know you got insurance, and guess what? You on probation. So guess what we about to do? We about to claim we smell weed. Yeah, yep. And you find a weed case? Yeah, we gonna say we smell weed. We smell gunpowder. Yeah, they even say stuff like that. We smell gunpowder. So hey, you know, we're gonna make it easy. But it's your goal to understand how this thing works. Yeah. Thanks, family. Thanks, Megan. No, it ain't about the weed, y'all. It's not about the weed. It's not about the weed. You can have a person can love weed so much he can get air freshener that smell like weed. You got marijuana air freshener out here, literally car smell that can smell like marijuana. That's not the problem. It's the subject matter, y'all. You get what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with the weed, y'all. It got something to do with them violating his rights. So you will violate my rights just to get to whatever you're trying to get to, just to make the arrest. It ain't got, you know, it don't got nothing to do with that. You get what I'm saying? They will go to the above and beyond just to violate your rights, just to make the arrest. And they know they don't smell weed, but they can say that just to get you in court. You might beat it. I don't know, you know, but we can get you now. We can make sure you go to jail for a pistol if you're a felon. Your bond will be $10,000. Your attorney wants $15,000. $25,000 you just paid. Or if you don't got the money, you got to stay in jail with a public defender who gonna tell you to take a plea deal, and you're gonna end up taking a plea deal for a couple years just because you didn't know something. It's expensive when you're ignorant. Life is expensive when you're ignorant. When you don't know nothing, it's expensive. I'm gonna give you a breakdown. My truck's $66,000. The note on it is $900 last year, not right now. So right now it would have been like 12%. So I'm probably looking at $1,300 payments because, you know, inflation. I don't pay notes though. I discharged the car, right? But look, the note would have been $900 a month. The insurance for my car, they wanted $550. So $900 plus $550 is $1,450. That's how much money you'll be paying every month. You times that by 10, you're looking at 14,000 or something, right? 14,000. No, really 15,000 because you want to have the 500, 15,000 plus another 2 months. You're looking at close to 3,000 more. So you're looking at close to 18,000 a year, and plus registration fees. Add another 350, 400. You just paid all that every year because of what you didn't know. I don't pay registration fees. I don't got to pay insurance fees, and I don't got to pay car fees. Get what I'm saying? It's all about what you know. And what you don't know, my uncle went to prison, federal prison, for a firearm. His bond was $50,000. His lawyer was like 30, 40 something. About 80,000 out of pocket for a pistol case. And they gave him 7.5 years. No, that he had to do. He gave him 13 years. He did 7.5 years. It's a long time. It's a long time. 7 years? It's almost a decade. Just because of what we don't know. Just because how we lost. Just because we don't, the system tell us stuff and we believe everything they tell us. And we not understanding what the heck is going on. And it's the system that we live in. So many people not understanding how this stuff works. And that's why it's my goal to teach, to try to give y'all the best instructions to my best ability, to show y'all like this is the corrupt system that we living in. We living in a commercial system, y'all, a commercial system where people are going to jail for 10, 20 years for firearm charges where there's no injured party. When nobody hurt, nobody got shot at. So, yeah, I hope y'all, enjoyed the video, y'all. I'm finna get out right now. Just make sure y'all take this information, run with it, teach y'all family and everything like that. And I also teach people how to change their status through the passport process, because the one I did on YouTube is a little bit different than the one I got. How to change your status through the passport process, and also, what's the other thing? How to get out of contracts with the state. So if you guys want to learn any of that, just let me know. Hit me up. Don't hesitate. All right, my phone number is 224-463-1848. Y'all should see the moderator, Megan Child of Light. So she put the number up. It's 224-463-1848. Again, 224-463-1848. If y'all want any services, I can send you over my list of everything that I offer and stuff like that. I'm actually gonna put it in the description to let y'all know what I offer and everything, just so y'all can be on point with everything. So, all right, I'm out right now. Peace and love.